Hey.
Hey guys.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon on this lovely Friday.
Yes.
We are happy to be back, saying hi to everybody. We miss you guys. Shoot.
We do.
Feels weird. Super weird. Anyway, so here's our latest update. Basically, we had to choose between two options, which we talked about before. One being unemployment, where some of us could get paid to sit at home and do nothing, and some others of us would be working harder than ever. So that's the one option. The other option is this government program that we talked about, where we would all get paid full wages and we would have the ability to spread out the workload. So the pro with that is that we'd be pulling together and moving forward as a team, which is actually super important. And it would just spread the load out. So you wouldn't have some people not doing anything and some people doing everything. Some people working 0 hours, some people working 50. So that's what we're moving forward with, and we're actually really excited about it. I think it's going to be really positive for the team as a whole to take, like we've been talking about, to take a step forward instead of just kind of getting stunted and fragmented through this. So I'm really excited about that. So it's going to feel maybe a little bit more like an on-call situation where we could work up to full-time, but it's likely that we're going to be working super part-time and getting paid for full-time. So it's pretty awesome. So that's what it's looking like as of now. Jason's going to talk more detail about that. Also, I just wanted to say kind of the same thing is happening in our communities. So while we're sitting at home, some of us laid off or whatever, there are people that are working harder than ever. So kind of having the same disparity in our communities. Healthcare providers for one, grocery store clerks for another. There's certain people that are putting themselves at risk and working harder than ever through this time. And so I'm looking at that as well and trying to figure out how those of us that are sitting at home and have a little extra time can support those people. And having worked in the ER in the past, I have a lot of connections over there, and I talked to somebody that's working currently, and she said the biggest thing that would be amazingly helpful and showed tons of love and support would be to bring snacks and mostly like prepackaged, individually packaged snacks to the ER that people could just grab and go while they're working their shift. So I'm proposing that we do a food drive of sorts this weekend where all you guys could pick up stuff and drop it on my sun porch, and I will take it to the ER and we will bless their socks off. So I'm kind of excited about that, actually. I would encourage you to put like a note or tape something on the outside that says, a little note of thanks or whatever you can do. Don't put it in an envelope, because then the card will get lost from the contents. But if you just tape your note on the outside, maybe a picture of your kids, whatever you could do, because they'll be sitting in the ER, and the doctors and nurses and other staff will greatly appreciate a little love and support, and they always look for the little notes to know who it's from and why. So that's actually super meaningful. So I'm excited about that. Just this time where, there's some of us that aren't working our normal jobs, just trying to look for ways that we can show some love and support to the people that are working extra hard during this time.
Well said. All right, we're going to do this mic sharing thing.
I forgot to say that it's Saturday through Monday.
All right, Saturday through Monday for the food drive. So if you want to drop something off here, that'd be awesome. I like that because, like Sarah said, there are some people that are working very hard through this time, and then there's others of us that are not. And so we're seeing that in the community at large around us. We're seeing that in the Integrous family. There's been the sales team that have been working very hard all this time. Gabe put in some great hours this week going out, thank you. Delmar in the deck division is working crazy hard. And of course, so as we go through that, Those of us that are not working as hard, I'd love to see us find ways to support those that are. So that's what's very exciting with what Sarah's talking about. So we want to do that in the community, and this is one way. Drop something off for the food drive, then figure out how to support those that are working really hard. Because a big shout out to everybody who is working hard through this time, because we need everybody to do their part. So on that, I think what I wanted to really stress here first is we are trying to step forward as a company. That was the very first thing we said as we entered this, and I believe that we are making strides that direction, and I'm super, super excited for the next couple of weeks and what I believe we have here, and I think it is a step forward. I think it's important that we step as far forward as possible, wherever possible. And I say that because there are people making huge sacrifices. The company itself is taking huge sacrifices. There are losses all around through a time like this. It's not all wins everywhere. It's not all steps forward. There are steps backward. But if we can take those places where we can step forward and take as many steps forward as possible, we can still come out farther ahead even after we calculate the losses that we're going to be experiencing after walking through this. That's different for all of us. It's different for different companies. But I just think it's very important that we're very, very, very intentional with stepping forward as many steps as possible, wherever possible. So I want to say that. That's been my mindset through this whole thing as I look at this for myself and for the company. So with that, the two options Sarah talked about were two options we were looking at because we weren't sure which was going to be the best option. We were hoping we could go with the Paycheck Protection Program. Cannot say that thing for the life of me. Triple P's. So we were hoping we could go with that, and it looks like that is the route we are going, and we're very excited about that. There is a 0.01% chance that somehow that blows up here in the next 24, 48 hours. So I just want to throw that out there. But from everything we're seeing, that is going to be where we're headed. And so with that, like Sarah said, we're going to get to share the load. I wanted to talk a couple pros and cons here. Unemployment. The pros and cons here for unemployment, some of us would be off completely, like Sarah said, others would be working. It doesn't feel fair. Sarah said it in a pretty comical way. Some of us would be sitting down on our behinds and others would be working off their behinds. There's another way to say that. But basically, some people are working super hard and some people are not, and we're all getting paid the same, and it doesn't feel fair. So we want to spread the load around and do the Integrous thing, which is always being team players. So we didn't like that about unemployment. Some people would make more money on unemployment. Other people would make less. We also didn't like that. And also the other thing about the unemployment checks is they take forever to come. So we would have to fund people through that time. So some people would be getting funds and others would not. And it just was going to be one of those things that would be a hard thing to work out. The other thing about unemployment is that gives some people a ride on kind of the, that safety net, but it doesn't give any other help to us as a company, the whole company entirely. So all those things were kind of things that we were factoring through. What we do love about the full pay program is that we'll all be able to work up to full time, however we need to do this together as a company. And as you know, we do have a waiver or an approval to do necessary work, and we've talked about some of that. So now we can all pitch in. It doesn't have to be super efficient. If I have to run down to the shop 4 times this week, not a problem, because I'm getting paid full time and I only had to work part-time or almost full-time. So now it gives the ability for all of us to do our part. So I'm really, really excited about that. We're all going to make our average wages. So here's the way this thing works. We're going to look at the last 12 months and we're going to look at what the average hours are that we all put in as individuals, and that's kind of the way we're going to get paid. So that's a rough idea. It's going to have to all get kind of shaken out. But basically, if you're the kind of person who puts in on average 45 hours when you work, you're going to get 45 hours pay through this. If you're the kind of person who puts in 35 because you work 3 days a week, you're going to get 35. Now, if you do work 40, you're going to get paid 40. If you do work 50 hours, you're going to get paid 50, but you're going to get paid a minimum of what your average wages would have been. So that's as far as we understand it now. If there's any changes there, I will let you know. But as far as we know, that's exactly how this will play out. There'll be no hiccup. The checks will keep flowing from the company. And so that's really, really cool. And the last thing is, again, the company gets to be part of this because we want the company to come out strong. And the company receives a small bit of help, not near like the employees are getting helped, but a small bit of help to offset some of the expenses, because we will come out through this time with losing money as a company, but we're trying to lose as little money as possible. And so through doing this, doing all the work we're allowed to do, everybody pitching in, it just makes this whole thing work much better. So we're really, really excited about that. Sorry that got a little long. I'm sure there'll be some questions that I didn't think about. And if you have them, feel free to ask. So what does this mean for us as a company, as the Integrous family? I want to stress again, it means we get to step up. We're not going to sit down. I feel like this last week, or this week that we're just closing out, we got to sit down and relax a little bit. And so I'm giving you the rally call. Step up. Be ready. You're going to get paid full-time wages, and be ready to answer the call of duty when it comes. Step up. So there's a couple ideas I have here. Be ready to work as much or as little as needed, up to full-time. Be ready. Might need you to run down to the shop. I might need to run down to the shop. Somebody's going to have to go out and do a job. Somebody's going to have to do a sales call. Somebody's going to have to do this thing. Be ready. Step up. The other thing is, be ready to invest in yourself. We might have, as managers, something that we're going to want you to read or listen to invest in yourself, to become a better person and a better professional through this time. So be ready to maybe read some books or listen to some audiobooks through this time. The other thing is, kind of along the same lines, is be ready for some more training. If we can use this time to become better at what we do, better people, and know what we're doing better, we can actually make up for some of the lost ground once we get back to work coming out of this, because we've trained, we were standing up, we were stepping up, we were not sitting down. So I'm excited about that. And then the other thing that I'm really excited about is be ready for some longer weekends with full-time pay. Can you imagine getting paid full-time wages and getting a 3-day weekend, or maybe a 4-day weekend occasionally? Who knows? Maybe we'll get a 2-day weekend some weeks. We don't know what this is going to look like, but I know you guys, and I know you're the kind of people who do step up to a challenge and do step up for the right thing. So I'm super excited about that, and I know you're all going to be excited about this because we're going to do the right thing for the company, and we're going to come out all at a better place. So I'm very excited about that. Again, remember, let's make as many steps forward wherever possible to make up for the places that we are losing ground. Think about your personal life. Where are you losing ground in this? And then where can you make gains? Where can you step forward? Maybe it was really tough having, having to work from home and be around the kids all the time, and the whole kind of stressful situation of all this upheaval and change. That's kind of some steps backward maybe, but then where can you step forward? Think about that in your personal life, and then we're thinking about that as well for the company, because we want to see us moving forward. There is real losses that we are experiencing as a company. Real losses that if we don't step forward, we are going to come out of this worse off than we entered it. But I don't believe that's going to be the Integrous family. We are going to continue to step forward. We are going to step up and make the right decisions. And something I'm focusing on is I want to not focus on comfort in this time and just try to be as relaxed as possible and take the easy ride through this. I want to come out of this a better person. So I've spent a little bit more time reading books. I will say, the last 2 weeks just trying to keep up with everything, actually the last 3 or 4, I have been busier than ever just trying to work through everything, make the decisions, read the reports coming out and understanding the laws and trying to get my head wrapped around everything. I've been very, very busy. But I have had a few moments here and there where I've gotten out that leadership book that I've been not able to read in the last couple of weeks. And I'm doing that as well for myself because I want to continue to move forward. So I'm challenging us. Let's all do that. Let's do that in our personal life, and we're going to be doing that as a company, so we can come out of this stronger and better. So I'm very, very excited. Like I said, good times ahead. It looks like we're kind of in a marathon. It's going to be all of April. I think this is going to be maybe even longer than April. Who knows? There's a lot of conflicting information out there. So it's a bit of a marathon. We're going to kind of settle in, hopefully, into a little bit of a new normal where we are investing in ourselves. We are stepping up where we can. And we're making this thing a good time. So let's do this together. I'm proud of you guys. Thanks for everything you've done. Your attitudes have been incredible. Your patience, the communication, I appreciate you all. I'm very excited to see where we come out as the Integrous family. So let's step up. Let's make those steps forward, and we're doing it together. So thank you for the support. Stay safe, stay healthy. What do we say? Stay fat and happy? Yeah. Fat and happy. Thanks for joining us for this fireside chat. See you around.